we didn't strengthen something, and Party was not we needed something else. And the fact that he's not even supposed to even play since he's come in, it's frustrating.
Moore needs to swallow their pride and really put Ozil in, man. He's like the only world-class midfielder that can, well, aside from Partey. Just imagine Ozil and fucking Partey in the middle, like, just, like, dictating the game. Like, that's just... Don't understand.
I think even, you know what? Here's the thing. I think even Ceballos would have performed well. Yeah. I think the issue is Xhaka. I think Elneny and Partey would be a better partnership. Ceballos would be a better. Because first, Elneny does everything that Xhaka does at a better standard, in my opinion, than Xhaka. Xhaka's only attribute is that he's a very good passer of the ball. But if you have those passes, you don't need him. No? And if you have Elneny there, you can rely on him to find the ball. And nowadays, he doesn't just pass sideways and backwards like he did in his first season at Arsenal. You know, now he's a bit more like he's still very assured in possession, but like at the same time he can actually play the ball forward and get involved, and he's got energy. He's got energy for defending, especially in the last minutes. Like he's got a lot of Xhaka, as he's a passion merchant. You know what I mean by that? Like it's the fact that he's got a lot of passion that he gets away with. He's not that great. He should be better. You know, because of the skills that he has, but like he's just like off the ball, he's a liar. If you don't have passion, he's a liar. That's just the truth. You know, it's the same thing that you would say about Ozil. It's exactly the same thing that you would say about Ozil, but the one saving grace is Ozil is not expected to defend. Xhaka is. Ozil is not the type of player in the team.
He's more going forward, obviously.
Yeah, well, you put him in to create chances, and Ozil will create chances. You know,
you guys need it. Freaking Fulham has scored more goals than you guys this season.
It's nuts, man. It's so
crazy. Yo, what's Fulham? Fulham has more goals than you guys. Christ. Yo, it's the most expensive front three in the Premier League, and that is nuts.
What, ours?
Yeah. God.
The most expensive one. And you know what? Like, oh man, it's a nightmare to even analyze this game. It's a nightmare because we didn't do a lot. Like when you were looking at that game, especially in the second half, were you saying like, "Damn, Arsenal's getting battered here"? Is that what you were saying?
You guys had the ball a lot. After the half-hour mark, you guys started getting the full hold of the game. It was just, you guys didn't get any shots on fucking Hugo Lloris. Like, even when you had the ball, it was just like you guys are passing side to side. You're getting spurts of going forward and stuff, but like the distribution, the crosses into the box wasn't there. I mean, there was one time when, actually went in the box and, Willian couldn't control the ball and it got away from him. I was like, oh shit, imagine if he had control of the ball. That would have been dangerous. But like even then, like you can have the ball. It was like during that period, like in the 5-minute span, you had like 95% of the possession. And then after that countering attack, it was over. God.
I'm telling you. We had the better of that game than Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham didn't play that great either. It was just a crazy ass strike by Heung-min Son. That was a crazy ass goal.
Yeah, Tottenham had two. Okay, the second chance you might call that a clear cut chance, right? but it's still it's the quality of their front two that won them that game, and the quality of their defending, of course, right? But like we, in terms of territory, in terms of shots and shots on goal, like all of those statistics, we have the better of those statistics. We really do. So that's why it's like a Jose Mourinho thing, right? He's just got something. He knows how to see out games. You know, like once he goes ahead, he knows how to see out games.
He
But
he parks a bus as soon as the first goal comes in.
Yeah,
He waits for that counterattack.
yeah, and that counterattack is the most lethal one possibly in the world, apart from maybe Neymar and Mbappe.
Ugh.
Can you think of another one?
Ah, just so good.
Okay, and the Liverpool one.
Yeah. If they're healthy, obviously.
Yeah. That Liverpool one is maybe number one. And then I don't know, like Kane and Son is probably better than Neymar and Mbappe. The way it works.
I mean, what I saw from Chelsea against Leeds yesterday, if they could get everything clicking, man, I can see them too. Because, boy, that team, like when everybody starts clicking, when everybody's in form for Chelsea, man, they got a team, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
That's the thing. Everybody has to be fit and on form for Chelsea.
Right.
They
have the talent too. They really do.
For Tottenham, they just need those two players on the pitch at the same time, and they're scoring goals.
But doesn't Harry Kane pick up an injury every season? It seems like every time, like he was out for a little bit last season, right? So
yeah.
that's always been his MO. So I feel like the one thing that could deteriorate that title challenge is either an injury from Son or Kane. I feel like if one of them gets injured, then I could see a little bit of a dip of form.
Yeah, but I just think I don't know. Like, yes, you're right because Kane and Son are that good, right? But like, Son by himself is still like, you know what I mean? Like, just dangerous because like, what can you do?
But Harry Kane's just on another level this season.
And like, even Harry Kane, no, both of them. It's not even like one or the other. Right?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So like, if Kane got injured and Son was still there, but that goal today, he's still scoring that. Okay, maybe Kane did the layoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that goal today, like the fact that he was able to get the ball, get it on his right hand side, and just be confident enough from that range to be able to shoot and know it's going in. He's still doing that. It doesn't matter whether Kane is there or not.
Did he have Heung-min Son as a top 10 player this season? Did he have Son as a top 10 player this season in the world?
Me?
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was good, but I didn't think. Man, he's just.
He's done enough, and if you close him down, say Rob Holding, because I thought the commentators were saying, you know what, Rob Holding could have maybe gotten tighter. If Rob Holding got tighter, he's getting skinned. I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Son is finishing it on his left foot. How do you deal with that?
Oh, that's world class right there. You can't deal with that. Fucking world class. God, 2020's been a trip, hasn't it? Spurs top of the league. What the fuck is going on today? What is going on this year?
I don't know, man. But you know what? Like, I don't even want to blame the result on this, but I just think it's a little unfair to have the season play out where like a home advantage all of a sudden is huge. All of a sudden, is massive. Right in the middle of the season, I think that's a little. I mean, that's not why we lost. We lost because Kane and Son are quality. But I'm just saying, like it's gonna advantage a lot of teams, especially like I mean, obviously home, because like imagine, right? There are certain teams that have played their toughest, like us, for example, right? Their toughest fixture at home with no fans,
I
right?
think the quite opposite. I think if Arsenal had fans in the stadium like right now with this type of form, I feel like it would have been a fucking riot fest. You don't think?
No, yeah. Well, you're assuming that if Arsenal had fans in the stadium, they would have had this type of home form. Fans, like people underestimate the impact that fans have on a game. The games we've lost at home have been tight games.
Mhm.
They've been close, and you saw. I mean, I know it's a rapid Vienna, right? But in midweek, I haven't seen us play that way against any team at all.
Mhm.
Right?
You
We
guys
had
had
2,000
control
fans
the
in there.
whole game.
Hmm?
You had
We
control
had
the whole game.
the whole game, scored 4 goals. It's against Rapid Vienna, so you
Right.
can't read too much of the result. But that performance, I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. And I think it was partly because there was 2,000 Arsenal fans spread across the entire Emirates Stadium during that night
Mhm.
supporting the team. That does make an impact. So, like, you think like if you're playing um, these tough fixtures at home, Leicester at home, all of these fixtures, right? Where you need that extra thing. You need that 12th man. You don't have that 12th man. You're playing at home. The expectation is that you're going to go out and attack because you're at home. But there's no advantage because there's no fans. And all of a sudden, right in the middle of the season, all of a sudden, certain teams that maybe haven't played those games, they're going to have some sort of an advantage right in the middle.
Mhm.
That's why I'm saying it's like it's a little unfair. And I have to emphasize, it's not just because it's Arsenal. It's not because we didn't lose because Tottenham had fans. That maybe played an impact. It did have an impact on the game. Mm-hmm.
So is
It
that
did.
why you think a lot of these let's say like mid-table teams that teams like Southampton and teams are like
And that.
that are shooting up in the tables because of fans, no fans?
I mean, you look at like they've had how many big away results have Aston Villa had this season?
I mean, well, technically maybe you guys, but well, since you guys are a dip of form, maybe not. Um, I'll actually look at their schedule. Matter of fact, I'll get back to you, but
Yeah, no, but the time that Aston Villa beat us, we had the best defensive record in the league.
well, Aston Villa was going into that game was dipping in form, and even after that game, they've been out of form. Um,
But I
I'm
think
looking at the
you
schedule right now.
you have a you have a puncher's chance
Hmm.
against. I know Liverpool's done very very well, right? But even against Liverpool at Anfield, imagine playing in Anfield when there's no fans versus when there are. There's undoubtedly a difference. The players even say it's different, you know.
Hmm.
And so if you don't have that advantage for half of your first fixtures that you play, and then you're going to have it now for the for the rest of them, it
Hmm.
does have an impact. It does have an impact. But uh, having said all of that, I'm happy fans are in the stadium, and if this is how they have to do it, then I guess it's fine. But I don't know, man. I don't know that game, man. It's so tough. It's so tough to analyze it because I hate Tottenham. You always go into a game against Tottenham wanting to win, and if you anything other than a positive result is unacceptable, right?
Right,
But
absolutely.
at the same time, you kind of have to acknowledge the gulf in quality that's been there between Tottenham and Arsenal for at least what 3 or 4 years.
About.
You would have maybe even longer, you know,
Hmm.
and you know obviously they changed their manager, but the quality of players were there when Jose Mourinho accepted that job. People were saying how much was that they've managed to assemble a squad that's worth the largest amount of money, not the most expensive, but player for player, right?
And then
They
just
like
like they smartly invest in certain players too. Because
Mhm.
Hoiberg has changed their midfield drastically. Like Dembele's looking good along with Hoiberg. I mean,
Let me
that
say,
dude controls the midfield like crazy.
let me actually say something about Hoiberg. Hoiberg has just always been underrated in England. Hoiberg is a top midfield. When he was at Bayern, right, and Pep Guardiola at the time when he was managing Bayern, he was saying that Hoiberg was going to be the future of Bayern. It's just that since he had gone to Southampton and he'd been all right but not great, people just think like they look at a midfielder and they just think they know everything about him. But when you listen to the coaches, you listen to the manager, they love him. They love Hoiberg, and they always have from when he was young because they just thought he was a very intelligent player. So I'm not actually I'm actually one of the less surprised people at how good he's become.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
The dangerous
um,
legend.
yeah,
Ugh.
and Thomas. I think Thomas Partey is better than him. I really do. I think he is because he can just do more. He's very dynamic, but that's Thomas Partey. I think Thomas Partey is one of the best midfielders in the world. I really do. What do you think? I mean, am I saying that because I'm an Arsenal fan?
But yeah, you're probably biased. I mean,
Who
I
would
mean,
you? Okay, so
I think Hoiberg's way better than at this moment right now. I think Hoiberg's better than Partey, but
well,
then
here's the thing.
again, with Partey's
You
injury and
haven't
stuff,
seen
we
him
haven't really
this
seen like the whole like
season.
full
You haven't seen
talent
him this
display.
season.
So I still because I'm an athletic fan. I've seen Partey. He's world class. You don't even need to
Hmm,
tell me twice.
yeah,
You don't need to tell me twice.
but you think Hoiberg
For right now,
is
yes, I think Hoiberg. I take Hoiberg over Partey right now, but that's only
really?
because what I'm seeing right now. I'm not. I'm not.
Yes, that's, but like, so that's a small sample size.
Right.
It's a small. Thomas Partey has played in. I mean, you said it yourself. You know how good Thomas Partey is, right?
Absolutely.
He's been
Yeah.
he's been in Atletico. He's been playing these big games and bossing them for a little while. For a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Hoiberg is just starting to do it, and people are starting to see it, and that's great. And I rate him. You've just heard how glowingly I speak about Hoiberg. He is good. He is good, and and if he has space, he can run the game, right? But I think if you want somebody like if you want somebody that is, I think okay, here's the difference that I think Hoiberg and Partey do. You would say similar jobs, correct? But Partey is way more athletic and can affect the game in the opposition half a lot more.
Yeah,
I
I
would say.
agree with that.
So like I think that's the difference. That's why I say that Partey is better than Hoiberg, even though Hoiberg is a very very good, very underrated for a long time midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we haven't seen Thomas Partey so like you can't say how's Hoiberg's start to the season been compared to Partey's because Partey's start to the season has been completely non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah. And that's why I
he
say
arrived.
that's why I say I'm saying Hoiberg right now just because of how it's currently Hoiberg is more fit than Partey. But
Mhm.
once the season plays out, when I can see like like more games
Yeah,
of
I mean, look,
Partey in Arsenal, then
yeah,
and see how Arsenal as a team does, then I can make it a fair assessment. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like, but this is what. Okay, so like for example, Arsenal, we had the midfielder. Of course, you know him, Abu Diaby, right? You know Abu Diaby, right? His entire career was full of injuries, right? Full of injuries, but every time he stepped in, he was obviously quality, right? Obviously, but he couldn't string together enough games to really show what he could do, right? But like what like his quality was So, like, if you were to compare him to midfielders at the time, it would be impossible to compare him because there just wasn't a big enough sample,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But you could still categorically say that he's better than certain midfielders and maybe not as good as others. You still could say that,
Right.
even though you hadn't seen that, right? It's just in the games, it's the eye test, the games you have seen. And Højbjerg has been very good. I mean, look, Tottenham is on top of the league, right? Top of the league, right? If you took Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, right, and you put them in the Arsenal squad, would you still say Højbjerg is better than Partey?
I mean, so I probably would say yes.
Even if you put Harry Kane and Heung-min Son in the Arsenal squad. Okay, so
I mean,
say the Arsenal
because
squad
it's not like the front three are Arsenal. I mean,
hmm?
Lacazette and Aubameyang. I mean, they equally can compare it with Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. That's what I was sold to Bill Goods before the season that it was gonna be like that.
Whoever said that was wrong. Whoever said that was wrong. Do you think, like, honestly, you look at you think Aubameyang could score that goal? I mean, he could, right? He could, but Heung-min Son and Harry Kane just have more about them than Lacazette and Aubameyang. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the person in the Arsenal squad that you could compare Heung-min Son to, and it's a bad comparison, is Nicholas Pepe. But Heung-min Son can go both sides. He can go with his left foot and his right foot. This is what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like, say Jose Mourinho was not the um, Tottenham manager; he was the Arsenal manager, and then he brought with him a Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, right? Or even, you know what? Let's make it even easier. If you put Thomas Partey in the Tottenham squad and put Højbjerg in the Arsenal squad, I think Thomas Partey would do that job just as well, if not better, than Højbjerg because he's just got more.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got more about him. So I'm not saying like, okay, yes, he's had a great start to the season, but it's because Tottenham is a great team. He's slotted in seamlessly into that Tottenham team. He wasn't do like he wasn't doing this for Southampton. In fact, Southampton have looked better without him.
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
but I hear you. He's had a better start to the season, but I think they do an identical job. But Thomas Partey is more athletic, more.
Who's
I wouldn't even say like he can
who's
hold a
more
midfield.
technical? Who do you think, Partey or Højbjerg?
Who's more technical?
Yeah,
Who do you think?
I think I would think Højbjerg right now. I mean, athletically, I will say Partey is
But
more athletic. I mean,
athleticism isn't
that's
all Partey
obvious.
has to. Yeah, athleticism isn't actually all Partey has to his game. Like he can shield the ball. Rarely loses possession. He makes forward passes, a lot of forward passes. If you look at his statistic, you're an Atletico fan, you would know this. His statistics in terms of like, actually making those progressive forward passes, being effective in that end of
One of the best in the
the
world, obviously. Yes.
yeah, and he can play box to box. Like he's a complete midfielder. Højbjerg is a very, very good holding midfielder. Thomas Partey is a complete midfielder. That's the difference.
I can see your point.
You know,
Yeah.
but like Thomas Partey can do that job that Højbjerg is doing. He was doing that job for Atletico.
Quick question. Are you recording? Are you
Yeah,
recording?
we've been recording, bro.
That's
Yeah,
a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vision Podcast episode 18 on RTC, right?
no, we don't need an intro, John. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have to say it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to say, I don't want to say it, but I have to say we don't need one. It's too late.
Too late to apologize.
And like the
Too late.
conversation right in the middle.
Wait, you guys don't want to do the intro no more?
We don't need one. What do we need one for? It just interrupts the conversation.
I think in certain episodes is necessary, but we're like cooking at the point. If we're cooking like this, I feel like it's just let it go.
You should just let it go.
I don't
You
know.
should just let
Alright,
it go.
cool. I bet. So, alright, my bad, continue. Yeah,
Jogan's calling from jail right now. That's why his phone, his audio's sounding a little crazy. But we're gonna bail him out. It's okay.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
You know, it's the prison phone. It's not great quality.
Anyway, where were we?
Talking about Partey versus Hoiberg.
Yeah, I think the difference between Hoiberg and Partey is literally the players around. It's the players around them. There's a gulf in quality between Tottenham and Arsenal that I've never seen.
I definitely can't agree with that one. Yeah, that's a fact.
I've never seen that in my life ever before, right? But like the one player out of the Arsenal squad that could walk into that Tottenham squad, I think, is Thomas Partey, and Jose Mourinho would be so happy to have him. That are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's a fact.
he can sit back. He helps in the counter attack just fine because he's a box to box. But like defensive, I mean, in terms of defensive mid, the things that he did to that Liverpool midfield, man, I'll never forget it. Man. For Atletico Madrid, I'll never forget it. And he does that. He does that. He plays that way against the biggest of the biggest. You know, against Real Madrid, even against Manchester United. I know Manchester United is not the same Manchester United, but a big reason why we won that game is because of Thomas Partey and what he gave us defensively and when we had the ball. He just doesn't lose the ball. I've never seen he doesn't lose the ball. He's complete. That's why I think I can go on and on, but that's why I'm saying yes. Hoiberg is having a very good moment, and it may never stop. But Thomas Partey is equally as consistent and more athletic and fit.
Alright, so I kind of would do. I would do a combined starting 11 since we're on that topic of quality players around. Because I was watching Expressing Oozings yesterday, and they did a combined 11, and I was just like, I should have a conversation with Collins with this. So
about a combined 11?
Yeah. So they did like a comparison of like, all right, Hugo Lloris versus Bert Leno, and then stuff like that, and then we'll take like they all said Hugo Lloris was better than Bert Leno, so he would be in the starting 11.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
let's do it. What formation? What formation are we going with? 4-3-3?
Yeah, let's do a simple 4-3-3.
4-3-3.
Yeah. So we'll just start with goalkeeper then. So would you take Bert Leno or Hugo?
Hugo Lloris. I love Bert Leno, bro. I love him. Mm-hmm. He's a really good.
Do you regret letting go Emilio?
Huh?
Would you rather have Emilio right now, or would you still have Bert Leno?
Honestly, yeah, Emiliano Martinez. Like because of what he could do with the ball at his feet, mostly, and the fact that when he saved the ball, a lot of the time he caught it. Like Hugo Lloris was doing that a lot this game. He was playing that Emilio Martinez type of goalkeeper. Well, the ball went to him, and he knew that he would catch it and secure it, and be half possession now type of. So yes, but I love Bert Leno. I don't think it's that much between Hugo Lloris and Bert Leno, but you have to go with Hugo Lloris because of what he's done for Tottenham, and he's a World Cup winner. Bert Leno was on the bench for Germany when they won the World Cup, right? So, yeah, definitely. And then when you go to defenders, I think it gets interesting. I think it gets really, really interesting because I would go Gabriel for sure.
Oh, Gabriel. I can take Gabriel. That's a fact.
Yeah. Who do you pair Gabriel with?
I think Dyer's been really world class this year. So I feel like after when he confronted the Tottenham fan last year, I think it was I forgot what domestic tournament that was, but
yeah, I think Alderweireld is better 1-on-1. Like if Tottenham were the type of team that played very, very expansively, I think Dyer would start to get exposed. But because Tottenham are 1-0 and shut up shop. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can also steamroll teams, but like because they're very 1-0 and shut up shop type of like Dyer doesn't have to do as much one-on-one defending because he's got a lot of help.
Right. So you have
But
Alderweireld.
No, you know what? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I would go Dyer. I'd go Dyer.
Because you think he would pair better with Gabriel.
Yeah, I like the ball play. I mean, Alderweireld can do that a little bit, but I think I like the ball playing capabilities of the fact that he's a player that was playing center midfield and he slotted into center half just fine, and he's very competitive, so I like him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what about left back?
Left back? Who are the choices?
I think is it Tierney and Reguilon?
Yeah, Tierney for me.
Tierney for you?
Tierney for
I'll
me.
take Tierney, but I think it's closer than people think it. And isn't Reguilon? Isn't Reguilon? No, he came from. I thought he was on loan from Madrid, but he was sold to Tottenham.
Yeah, but like it's a weird deal. Real Madrid still have like a very low fee buyback option.
Oh, so
But
it's technically like still a loan almost. It's weird.
yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
but Real Madrid may never even act him because they just, you know what I mean? Like they're one of those clubs that they can afford to go and buy the very, very, very best. And even if Reguilon is world class, if he's not the best in the world at a certain time, Real Madrid may not even go.
Right.
So,
They could buy somebody else.
yeah. So okay, so that's left back. Right back, I think picks
Aurier
itself.
versus Bellerin.
You know what?
Aurier.
They're both they're both okay. So Aurier, based on what he's done this season, but I think they're both kind of defensive liabilities.
So would you would take Hector Bellerin just because what he offers going forward?
No, because he can't take a throw in. That's embarrassing. I mean, even if I wanted to, he offers a lot going forward. I love Hector Bellerin. But the fact that you're a fullback and you can't take a throw in, you can't be in any combined.
He's just like, yo, get out of here.
I'm sorry, you can't. Because that's ridiculous. Okay, so that picks itself. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Aurier is a much better discussion. But if we're going Bellerin, then I'd go.
I'd just say Bellerin just because recent, like, just how the starting 11 was. So that's why I said Bellerin. But
yeah,
you would take Maitland-Niles over Aurier if that was an option.
Yeah, because they're both defense. I think both of them defensively are. I mean, I think Maitland-Niles can do a very good job defensively, especially in big games, right? The only gripe I have, and he's very versatile. The only gripe I have with Maitland-Niles is that he does have the sometimes he will lapse it, and I guess you could say that the same thing about Aurier. I think Maitland-Niles just has more about him, so that's why I would say Maitland-Niles. But if it's versus Bellerin, then it has to be.
Okay, so back four we have Aurier, Gabriel, Eric Dyer, and what was the other one? Tierney, right? Tierney.
Yeah, Tierney. Those crosses of
we got crosses of back four. So three midfielders. We have right now. We have with Arsenal. We have Partey and Xhaka, right? And then with
those are the two that we're picking from. Then.
Yeah, I'm just going with who was starting today.
Who started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys were on a 4-4-2, so the four midfielders for you guys was Xhaka, Saka, Thomas Partey, and Willian. right?
Yeah.
So, and then with Tottenham, they had Musa Sissoko, Højbjerg,
Uh-huh.
Giovanni Lo Celso, and yeah, that I think that would be the three.
Okay, so it's a midfield three.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a midfield three. I'd go Partey, Højbjerg, and Lo Celso. Actually, Lo Celso wasn't even that good today, to be honest.
Nah, he wasn't. I saw him
But we
picking up more
needed,
fouls, if anything.
huh?
I think I was seeing him picking up more fouls than anything.
Yeah,
So you said
yeah.
Partey
I
would be
would,
in there,
yeah. I
Højbjerg,
mean,
and who else?
yeah. I mean, if we had Ceballos to pick from, I would actually pick Ceballos over Lo Celso, to be fair. But if we're just going for who started, um, I don't know. Are we going by who started?
I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. That's why, because you were like talking about like just to compare difference of like talent. I'm just going with what was going on.
Okay.
Who
All
started?
right. So we're going by who started, then it's that. It's Lo Celso, Partey, and Højbjerg.
Yeah, I have no argument with that. I can't push Jaka even near that starting 11
Yeah,
after what I saw today.
yeah. And now the front
Front three.
three.
So they had Bergwijn, Harry Kane, Heung-min and you got what's that? Bamiyang, Lacazette, and William.
Saka?
And Jacket. That's why I was like, because you guys were in the 4-4-2, so I'm like thinking who would be the midfield, who would be the front three.
Yeah. Well, let's just go by the person now. We know
Okay,
Saka
so
can
yeah,
play.
Xhaka. Well, no, Xhaka, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Willian.
I would go. I would go with Son, Kane, and Saka.
You wouldn't put Aubameyang?
No,
Why not?
because who do you put him in instead of Saka?
So who would be? So all right, so if you play Aubameyang on the side, where would you put him? Left or right?
We put him on the left.
All right, so then that would take
But Saka,
Son
you
out.
could
So
put him anywhere. You could put him on the left or the right.
because I thought he could either play both sides.
Who?
Aubameyang.
Nah.
No.
He's better. He's 100% better on the left or in the center. On the right, not really. I've not seen him score too many goals on the right.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he likes to. I mean, his preferred foot is the right foot, but he likes to cut into his right foot and bend it into the far post.
Right.
You know, and Kane and Son. Well,
Yeah, I
Son
can't
is.
argue with Kane or Son.
Yeah, I mean exactly.
I'm just
That just.
surprised you would put Zaka in over Aubameyang. Like,
Well, I mean, because I'm also thinking about a team that kind of has to be able to function well. I think Aubameyang obviously has the more established career than Saka.
mm,
But if you're playing Kane already and you're playing Son, you don't need Aubameyang. You don't need him.
because you already
So you
have
put
two
somebody
goal scoring threats
in.
like that.
Yeah. So you put somebody in that can either create or that can create
Mm-hmm.
for for them.
And you think Zaka would be that type of player?
Saka would be that, and he
Crossing and
could
all that.
play the type of player that could play. And Son can also do this, by the way, as well. He can play multiple positions over the course of 90 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he can shift. He can be on the left, shift central, and go right. And Son can also go right, shift central, go left.
Yeah.
You know. So for me, like that, I mean, that's why I say it. And Saka's been brilliant this season. I think he's been our better player. He's been better than Aubameyang
Mm-hmm.
this season. You know, he has.
So going over the starting 11 right now, the combined starting 11. We have what was it, 4 Arsenal players?
Yeah, 4 Arsenal players.
Damn, man. How you would? Do you think in your lifetime you would ever see just more Spurs players in a starting 11, a combined starting 11?
Did I think I would ever see that in my lifetime?
Yeah.
You know what? For the for the majority of the time I've been supporting Arsenal, Tottenham have not been a million miles away from us. Like
Like,
even when they were finishing ahead of the top four, there was just,
mhm.
they were fifth, maybe sixth. So like, as much as they want to banter Tottenham and always feel like they still are forever in our shadow because they just haven't won the amount of stuff that we have, but they have improved a lot,
Mhm.
considerably. And that's undeniable. They've improved a lot, and the fact that Kane is scored in more North London derbies than anybody. If you think of all of the players that have played in this fixture, for him to have that record is insane. You know?
No, that's a crazy record to have, man.
Yeah.
So seems like with the heat on Arteta right now, what's going on with
Hmm?
Arteta? If
You, it's not.
if he ends up getting the pink slip, he's out of here.
It's not even him. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
might sack him.
yeah. I feel like
They might,
if they would have if this would be it, then I feel like it would be stupid. It has to there has to be a process.
yeah,
And I'm
there
just
has to
I'm
be.
just going with like hot-headed Arsenal fans who probably want him gone because I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, but yeah. The fans, yeah, a few of the fans, right?
Hmm.
In fact, there's probably fans saying that right now. I don't know if you heard the toilet flushing. Anyway, uh, um, but like, yeah, I don't know. Those are the reactionary type of fans. They go game by game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we win our next two fixtures, those fans will be back on side.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it has to be a process. I think if they continue to lose games, he's gonna go, but
Is
he's
that
really
an
not.
English thing? I don't want to get off track, but like following the Premier League and like watching all these like reactionary things and like hot takes and stuff. Like America's bad at it too in a way, but I feel like I don't know. I just see it's just a lot of reactionary shit coming out of like just English press, English like YouTubers, like football YouTubers and stuff. It's I don't know. I can't even
Is it is it
put my
is it is it
put my
English?
finger
Is
on
it
it.
English?
Huh?
Is it English or is it football?
Maybe it's just football. Maybe and I'm just tweaking, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
You know what
it's
my theory
weird.
is? It never used to be this way. There used to be like managers that could last for 5, 6 seasons. Obviously, the most legendary managers in the Premier League lasted 25 and
Oh
22
yeah.
seasons.
Hmm.
But like, I think the money and the way the game has grown and the amount of options. Now these clubs, they have so many options. Think about how many good, like phenomenal managers are just in the Premier League alone.
Yeah, and I was about to bring that up because you did say that.
Yeah. So like, it's very easy for fans to look around and be like, "Yo, why do we have this guy when there's, I don't know, Nagelsmann over at Leipzig? Is it Leipzig?
Yeah, it is Leipzig.
Yeah, him. Guys like that, and Ten Hag, and all of these guys that are doing phenomenal things at these other clubs. It's very easy for like fans to have their heads turned. But and also like the way the sport is structured nowadays is very different. Once upon a time when Fergie and Wenger were managing, they were the managers. They picked the players. They did the negotiation. They signed everything went through them. I mean, Wenger had some help with David Dean, but like now, the person who takes care of the medium to long-term future of the club is no longer the manager. It's the person above him, whether it's a director of football or something like that, sporting
So they're
director.
not really a manager; they're just a coach.
Yeah, like Ed Woodward has way more power at Manchester United than,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not a football guy. It's just that he's the guy that's been employed by the ownership. I think it's that. I think it's the fact that these owners, they come in and they want, because they invest a lot of money, they want to see results relatively quickly. And I think that started with Chelsea, actually, with Abramovich. They were successful doing the manager merry-go-round.
Mm-hmm.
They had so many different managers go in there and achieve success. So, like, I think that might be where it started, because I don't remember that being the case before then.
It is weird. It's like kind of like a whole. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird to me.
Yeah,
Is it kind of Americanized? Because it's kind of like this. It's kind of like that in America. You have like the general manager and then the head coach, and usually the general manager has more say on the team and like what they want from the team than the head coach per se. So it's kind of
it
like
might be.
it just
There's a
reminds
lot of
me of just like how American sports model is.
yeah. Definitely a lot of American owners in the Prem,
Right.
right? So it could be that. It definitely could be that. Like Stan Kroenke's American. The Liverpool guys are
Yeah,
American.
Fenway. Yeah, Fenway
Yeah.
Sports Group.
The Blazers are American as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blazers are American. Yeah. So some of the top clubs in England they have that American ownership. So maybe that is where it comes from. And then obviously once one club does it, all the other clubs start to adapt it, and it becomes the norm. Yeah. But I don't know. There are some clubs that still, keep managing. I think it's really the super clubs. I don't know why I keep getting this same phone call. Anyway, the the super clubs can afford to do that a lot more than the smaller ones, right? Because it's like when you sack a manager before his contract is up, you still have to pay him,
Yeah, that's a fact.
right? So the smaller ones are more likely to have a project in place. Like even Tottenham can't afford to sack a manager all the time. That they kept Maurizio Pochettino for quite a while. Um, Compared to the rest of the league, teams were chopping and changing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For a time, he was the longest serving manager. And now when they finally decide to pull the trigger on him, they get Jose Mourinho, and I expect him to stay for a little while now, especially now that he's starting to gain success. You know?
Well, not that long because after like the third year or something, everything goes downhill. That's his track record. That's always been his track record with Chelsea and all that. Real Madrid.
I don't really, you know what? I don't know what that means. I don't really know what that.
Okay, so it's because Mourinho is like that type of guy where his success, because when he comes in, like instant success happens. Like especially in his second year, you saw that with Man United. They got second, they won the Europa League, and everything was gravy, and all that. Mourinho's he's like a certain character. He's got that personality that after a while the whole club just it rubs people the wrong way, and that's why teams after like maybe like the third and fourth year like get tired of that, and it can like disrupt the locker room, like players with like relationships, like player and manager relationships become sour after a while.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing all that with like Eden Hazard had a problem with him with Chelsea after like maybe like especially when Eden Hazard had like that whole like that goal drive. Do you remember that when he was like, how many did he score? Like 2 or 3 the whole season? It was when Chelsea was like 15th or 16th at one point. You remember that season?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then like they sacked him in the middle of the season. It was like you would hear like stories in the tabloids that like Mourinho and Eden Hazard were like butting heads a lot and stuff like that. It was just like Because you know how Marino's so outspoken in the media, like he just says like these like just to get a player riled up, get him motivated. It just seems like after a while, like
It's not to wear and
long
play.
term, it just rubs people the wrong way, and it could just disrupt like the whole club basically.
Yeah, I hear that, but I also think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of maybe the owner, like it's really the owners that he upsets the most, really, right? Because if you think about it, right, every manager in history has a dip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or every manager falls out with players, right? Or something like that. Like for example, Sir Alex Ferguson and David Beckham, right? What happened with them? You know, obviously, at the end of the day, Sir Alex Ferguson, because he's the supreme leader of Manchester United, he's able to go to outlast the players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jose Mourinho is never like maybe at Chelsea he had the opportunity to create that about himself before he left the first time. Just being that guy that they would always rely on, type of thing. But he didn't, and he kept moving clubs. So like I don't even know how a Jose Mourinho fourth season would look like. You know, so like people say all this time, all this about yeah. I mean, every title winning team has a life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Every title winning team has a life cycle, and it's whether the owner is patient enough to endure the lows so that the team can get back to the highs or not. You know, that's that I think is the difference. You know, because you could. I mean, okay, Arsene Wenger had more than 3 seasons of success, but
Mm-hmm.
the manager before him, George Graham, had third seasons like Jose Mourinho, but he was able to stay for longer
Mm-hmm.
and build and rebuild. But I don't think owners have given Mourinho that chance. I think he probably could do it.
He's just, I guess he's a victim, just like managing all
Oh,
these big clubs who are on kind of like in a win now type of mode. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
when you're managing like teams like Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man U, you can't afford to have maybe a
hmm
down year because then you're out. Which with
yeah,
Tottenham, like the fact that Tottenham has Jose Mourinho is a miracle in itself. And then
yeah.
whatever happens after is just gravy on top or cherry on top. So
Because like even
maybe we'll see a Jose Mourinho led team for like 10 years. Who knows?
yeah, maybe like if you think okay, so the teams that Jose Mourinho has managed are obviously Porto
Mm-hmm.
won the Champions League with them, which is insane. Right? You
The
think about
fact
that.
that Porto can win a Champions League. Yeah, that I mean that's where he got his name from.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then Chelsea, and then Inter, then Real Madrid, then Chelsea again, and now Tottenham. Right?
And Man United. Can't forget about
I, mean,
yeah.
I tend to forget Manchester
Yeah,
United.
nah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you say that Jose Mourinho won a Champions League with FC Porto?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was
Beat
when
AS
he made it.
Monaco.
What the fuck was after this? Sorry.
It was a long time ago. It was before he was at Chelsea. Chelsea got the reason why Chelsea signed Jose Mourinho is because of what he did with that Porto team.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of those players, guys like Deco, they ended up, joining big clubs. Deco went
Wait,
to
wait, 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 wait. Was that the team with like Falco, Rodriguez?
I can't actually remember who else was on that team. Carvalho was on that team, right?
Yeah, Carvalho.
I can't really remember it that well, but it like a lot of those players they were okay.
Yeah.
I would even say the same thing about the Inter team that he won the Champions League with. They were okay. Diego Milito is not Harry Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Diego Milito was an average striker that played above his level for Jose Mourinho. I don't think before or since he's had seasons like that one.
You
So
can say that with about a lot of players who played under Mourinho.
yeah. But yeah, so like, yeah, the thing is, he's man, maybe Pep Guardiola. I don't know. Like for some reason, because of Pep Guardiola, the aesthetics of his football, he gets more time. But he's not been as successful outside of Barcelona as Mourinho has. You know, Pep Guardiola has a really specific style of play, and he needs $30 billion to implement.
He's so 700. Oh my god.
He needs
So much
all the
money.
money in the world to assemble a team. Give me all the money in the world. I can assemble a team that will win the Champions League. Honestly, I think I could. I think I can do it. Maybe not. Maybe yeah, probably. I just need good coaches around me. You know what I'm saying? If I have, give me Arteta as my assistant manager, and billions of dollars to spend on players. I win some. I win some players, of course. You know? But so I mean, I like Pep Guardiola. I like the style of football he plays. He's a good manager, but he's a bit overrated. You know, the amount of times like he's been at super clubs and he's won the Champions League only with Barcelona, with a team that consisted of three of the best midfielders football has ever seen. Or the best players, like you know what I mean? Like certainly hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Certainly Xavi and Iniesta during their time were like number 2 and 3 for the Ballon d'Or, and they had grown up together. You know what I mean? And Messi was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know,
crazy.
so like as much as like yeah, you know, players love him. They love playing under him and this, that, and the other, and the football is pretty. But if you're talking about winners, Jose Mourinho has that over him.
And one thing that like with Pep Guardiola, like going back to him, like he could coach and play like with the Barcelona team, like best team of all time. That wasn't his players. That wasn't his players. And you're seeing it with Man City too. Like when they had with the 100-point season, they didn't do it with his players. Like Vincent Company and all of them like that. Sergio Aguero. That wasn't his players. Maybe
Exactly.
okay. So maybe one player that maybe I guess Pep Guardiola did improve is probably Raheem Sterling. Maybe.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling. I think you might even say. Well, actually, you know what? Like he did improve a few. You're right in saying that they weren't the players that he signed. His recruitment is garbage.
Yeah,
I've been
that's what
saying
I'm
that.
trying to like point out. Like he's good at like when he goes to a team and has the players at disposal, he can put them in the right place and all that. But when he's trying to
Yeah,
build a team, it's like it doesn't
tough.
work out.
Yeah,
Never
like
does.
his main players at Manchester City are over the years were, as you said, Vincent Company, Fernandinho,
Fernandinho,
David Silva,
David Silva. Yep.
De Bruyne,
Yeah.
and Aguero,
Mhm.
and Sterling, maybe, right? Those would be like his main players. And one out of however many of those were actually his.
Mhm.
That was Raheem Sterling. And Raheem Sterling, that was an obvious one. It's not like he picked him out of obscurity.
And maybe Ederson. Maybe Ederson is another one, but Ederson was a signing for a mistake of Claudio Bravo. So I'm not
Exactly.
gonna give him credit for that one.
Yeah. He tried. Yeah, he tried it with Bravo, and then like yeah, he's who gets the luxury of spending how much money did he spend on Bravo?
I could look that up right now, but it was a good amount.
It was a good amount, and then he was able to spend some more ridiculous cash for Ederson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say that Klopp made that kind of same error in judgment in terms of goalkeepers. When you look at everything else, that Liverpool is undoubtedly from 1 to 11, or not 1 to 11. You know what I'm saying? But like most of those players are Jurgen Klopp players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Klopp is a better manager than Guardiola, unquestionably. Because even when he was at Dortmund, he was pushing Bayern Munich all the way
Mm-hmm.
when Guardiola was there. I think won the league as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that squad, if you look at 1 to 11 for Dortmund at the time, I don't think it was anywhere. It wouldn't touch Bayern Munich squad 1 to 11.
Nah.
They had like makeshift fullbacks turn like that guy. What was his name? Grosskreutz. That's a horrible player, but he played so good for Jurgen Klopp. I mean,
Young Lewandowski.
yeah. The football is pretty, and for a while, and I think that's more to do with that Barcelona education more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Barcelona was the team, and I think he would even actually admit. Oh, that's the funny thing. When he's asked an best manager in the world, obviously he's not going to, right? But he even says that no, it's not me. Guys like Johan Cruyff, that Barcelona academy, like they're pooping out coaches.
I think you sound like you're in a tunnel right now.
Me, I am.
Yeah.
I do. How about that?
You sound your like audio just went crazy for a minute. Like you sounded like your full voice and everything, and all of a sudden you sound like you're like away from the mic.
I mean, I was the entire time.
But I mean, I can hear you, but like it wasn't as great as it was before.
All right, let me come out. Come back.
But oh my god, and you gotta look at Arsenal's fixtures after. I mean, all right. So they have to be Burnley. That just has to happen. You talk about Burnley. They're 18th in the table. They drew against Everton yesterday. Got their ass whooped by Man City. Like,
can you hear me better now?
Yeah, now I can hear you now. That's a result they have to get. And then
Who?
Arsenal. I'm talking about the next fixtures. You guys got Burnley next. You have to win that. That has to be a win. No other choice.
Yeah, every single game from now until January.
Oh yeah, no, that's a fact. But if you talk about like one game that has to be chalked up as a W, is that Burnley game.
100%. And we'll have Pepe back.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Pepe back. I think he should have taken Reece Nelson. I don't know why he. I think he would have given us a little bit.
You guys are playing the kids against Dundalk, right?
Huh?
You guys are playing the kids against Dundalk in the middle of the week, right? Just because you guys
most likely. There's no reason. Yeah, there's no reason to
already wrapped up and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We're top. We're top no matter what happens. We've won 5 out of 5. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in that game, I don't want to see any first teams.
Nope.
You know, if we could play those, I would have that.
So maybe you could find something in that game too to bring you to the league. Who knows?
Yeah. Balogun is the most exciting prospect for me. I want to see more of that kid because he's so clinical.
Mm-hmm.
Super clinical, and he's the type of striker that can create chances for himself. Mm-hmm. We're kind of lacking that. Lacazette isn't scoring, but he's the type of person that, you know what I mean, like he can, like you even saw it today, you know what I mean, like in that deeper role that he was playing, he can create. He can create.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're missing that.
Missing that creativity.
Yeah.
It's tough, Arsenal, man. Definitely tough.
Yeah. Yep.
This is the worst time to even be trash right now with the league wide open. So that's why you must be like banging your head in the wall right now because of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we have to see how the season ends. It's not looking promising. I hope maybe like this putting your eggs into the Europa League, but I think that's our way. That's our best route into the Champions League. And we're a cup team, so we do stand a chance. But the teams that are dropping down are not.
Right.
I mean, Real Madrid might drop down into the Europa League.
Yep.
At least,
Inter Milan too. Yep.
but you know what? You know what? Like, here's the thing. Like, maybe it's because I'm closed minded or whatever, but I just think like Premier League teams are better than these other teams in Europe.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably
I think
right
we
now,
I think we
form wise, yeah, probably.
yeah, I think we have. I think we. It's funny, right? It's funny to even say it. I think we stand a chance against teams like Real Madrid.
Um.
We we have all our players fit. If Party, I mean, I don't know what Party's injured. He might be out for the season, as much as I know.
Yeah,
But
he like hobbled around and stuff. So I saw the video. Like he tried to run back when Tana was on the counter attack, and he tried to sprint, and then he like pulled up.
yeah,
So
and yeah, he was going hard. He was going 100%.
yeah.
I don't think he should have walked off the pitch line. I think he should have stayed on
Mm-hmm.
and hit the knee or something, you know. But
Something.
yeah,
But here's like if Champions League ended today, these are the teams that would be in the Europa League. It would be RB Salzburg, Real Madrid, Olympiacos, Ajax, Krasnodar, is that I don't even know how to pronounce what team that is, but anyway, Club
I've heard of
Rouge,
him. Hmm.
Dynamo Kiev, and RB Leipzig. So
Okay.
those are the teams that you could be possibly facing.
Yeah. So okay. So obviously Real Madrid, RB Leipzig.
RB Salzburg, who are very underrated. I like how they play. They're very like attack oriented.
Yeah, they are underrated, and they've got Dominic. They've got our player.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hey, look, if we get him by January, maybe stand a chance. But
Hungry baby.
okay. So I mean, but you would say that even as good as RB Salzburg are, you would say, I think I would still back us to beat them. I haven't seen, to be honest, I haven't seen them play like that. So maybe I'm talking directly out of my backside. But like the teams that you would say that on paper we would struggle against are obviously Real Madrid, Inter Milan,
Leipzig
Leipzig.
and
I don't know if
what about Ajax? You put respect
and
on
Ajax
Ajax team.
and Ajax because Ajax is Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
But even saying all of that, we should be beating those games. And in terms of cup games, we're a cup team, so
Well,
we can.
I mean, you're undefeated. You're undefeated in the Europa League, so yeah, obviously you are.
Yeah, we're a cup
You know what
team.
would be so funny? It would be so hilarious.
Hmm.
I just still have that like the Spurs are gonna Spurs it somehow. Like you guys,
Yeah,
they end up not winning the league. They end up like getting like third or fourth or some shit like that, and you guys ended up winning the Europa League and getting Champions League spot.
that'd be hilarious, man.
That just would be
Yeah,
comical, though.
they
I would,
finish fourth. I don't think they are going to finish. To be honest, I think like the way that team. I don't unless Kane and Son get injured and they get long term injuries.
I think that would possibly happen because it just receipts. It has happened with Kane getting
As,
injuries.
But who do you think is winning the league this season? Liverpool?
I mean, I'm sorry, you can't count out City either, man. I'm sorry, I
I
can't count out City.
I have.
City and Chelsea.
I've counted out City.
Bro, all right. So wait, hold on. Let me check the standings again. They're not even that far off either. It's a sad part.
But Man City is so open. You can't be that open in this. You can't be that open in this league anymore. Those days are gone. You can't just you can't think that you're going to go to grounds and take the initiative every single time. Even teams like Southampton have the opportunity of dominating large spells of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Even teams like Southampton, and we saw what happened when Leicester went.
So because the Manchester derbies, I think that's next week. So if Man City end up winning that match, you wouldn't take them seriously.
No, because we beat Manchester United.
So that can mean anything.
Could mean anything. It doesn't. I don't know. Like they're gonna win. They're gonna get a giant Champions League result again and come to the Premier League and shit the bed again.
That's been an always luck. Always has been.
That Manchester United team is not that good. They've got great strikers, great forwards. The team doesn't function that well. So if they beat Manchester United, I don't even know what that means. I don't know what it means if Southampton beat Manchester United. You know what I mean? So it's just I don't know.
So you don't think Tottenham's not going to slip up to give Man City a chance, because I think Man City has because they played today, but on technicality I think they have 2 games in hand.
Me, the only way that I see Tottenham slipping up is if one or both of Kane and Son get a long-term injury at some point in this. If that happens, okay. But without that, maybe even with that, you would back a Jose Mourinho team to scrape 1-0 from now until the end of the season.
And we haven't seen an informed Bale yet.
And we haven't seen an informed Bale yet. And that squad is deep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not deeper than Chelsea's, and that's another reason why I can't see it being Manchester. I mean, Manchester. In order for Manchester City to win the league, they have to finish above Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham, who I think are better than them at this moment. Even when we played against Manchester City, we always had a chance in that game. We could have won that game.
Could have won that game. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the schedule right now. I just can't count out City yet. After that United game, it's just West Brom, Southampton, Newcastle, Everton, and then they play Chelsea next
And I swear
year.
Aguero got another injury, right? Did he get another injury?
Who?
Aguero. Is he back? No, he's not back. He's not back.
I don't think he's back yet.
So we're saying, if Kane and Son get injured, their main goal-scoring threat is injured. And that's just what Aguero does. He pops up, he shows up. He'll be there. Like when Arsenal play Manchester City, Aguero will be there. But for the rest of the season, he's going to sit out. It's so frustrating. It happens all the time. All the time. You won't see him before or since, but then against Arsenal, he'll score. He'll play and he'll score.
Just Arsenal luck, baby.
It's just our luck, man. But
so you're depressed right now.
very.
Losing to Tottenham, losing to your rivals. So games ended like 42 minutes ago. You seem like you're more level-headed now. You've accepted the result. So what is your expectations to the end of the season? Like what are you trying to see with Arsenal for the rest of the season?
Okay, for the rest of the season, I want to see us. Obviously, we still need to win games in the Premier League. Like, I don't want us to see. I don't want us to finish too low. I don't think we'll make in the top four.
Mm.
I think we can still make the Europa League, even though I don't love that competition. I think it's great for the youngsters. Um, I want us to put in a decent defense of our FA Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to get to the final. I want us to win the Europa League. I think we can win the Europa League because it's a cup competition, and those games we can show up for one-off games. We can do it. We've done it many times. Um, so that would be my and youngsters. I want to see youngsters coming through as well, and I want to see us build for next season in January.
Do you regret signing Aubameyang again? You could have used all that money towards something else. Instead,
Mm.
you guys were begging. Well, basically wanted him. You just like readjusting your finances to accommodate him. But do you think like signing him would possibly be a mistake? Was a
No,
mistake.
that's not what I. No, no. The thing I regret is and it's not. It's even tough to call it a regret, really. But Ozil shouldn't have been frozen out the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest mistake I think Arteta has made since he's joined Arsenal, to not include Ozil in the Premier League squad. And because, like, why would you, like, we have 8 centre backs, and Mustafi gets into the Premier League squad ahead of our only creative midfielder. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
No sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And by the way, look, Mustafi, he gets a lot of grief. He's not even that bad. He's not even that. He's not been that bad since Arteta's been there.
Mm.
He's been dependable every single time he's been called upon. I think he's done okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a few high profile errors in there, but you could say that about a few of our defenders.
Right.
But but that, for me, the fact that we're registering all of those centre backs and we can't register Ozil doesn't make too much sense to me. Maybe it had nothing to do with Arteta, but I think that's the biggest mistake that we made. Signing Aubameyang, look, Aubameyang is quality. If he scores in the next game, you would back him to score um, in every single game after that one.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going through a tough time right now. He just needs a goal, and if he gets one, I think he'll be off again. Um, because, I mean, like, imagine us not. Because, I mean, the truth is, like, without Aubameyang's goal, would be even in worse shape.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have won the FA Cup. So, like, the fact that he was an absolute priority. I think Thomas Partey, we haven't seen enough of him, but I think when he gets into the squad, I think he'll actually. I think he's huge. Gabriel Martinelli coming back will be huge. So, yeah, win the Europa League would be. It should come to be that should be number one priority, to win the Europa League,
Mm-hmm.
and to finish as high as possible in the table. If we miss out on the Europa League places and we win the league, I'd call that a good season, because that's making progress. We're in the Champions League. We can sign better quality players to put around Thomas Partey and to really start to build a team that can compete
Get out.
at the high level.
Get Orr to get your midfield back into shape.
Yeah, either him or that guy Jaboslai, because
Mm-hmm.
I like Jaboslai. Because the thing I like about him is that he adds to the midfield presence, because he's quite tall, as well as having technique. You know what? The person that I actually regret us signing, even though he's not been that bad, is Ceballos.
But it was like a loan. It wasn't really a signing. So
Yeah.
basically after this season, he's fucking off to Madrid anyway.
Yeah, I think we should have held off on that one. And William. Signing
Oh,
William.
I feel like William was probably the regret. You shouldn't have signed that motherfucker.
Yeah. Ceballos and William. I think those were a mistake. I think that because we're still paying Ceballos' wages. Those wages could have gone towards signing a better creative midfielder. I don't know how long Jaboslai has had that release clause in his contract, but if it was there in the summer, we should have activated it when we saw that we couldn't get our or it was too expensive. We should have activated it then because he's a quality player. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, this season it has to be to build for next season with a view of winning the league next. Because I think we have everything there, and because like if you sold a few of our centers, say Socrates is leaving at the end of it, right? If you got rid of Mustafi, who apparently Barcelona won, which is very very strange.
Yeah, that was a weird rumor.
That is a weird one, but Barcelona is known for that nowadays. Besides guys like Martin Braithwaite and that.
Yeah.
You know, Neymar to Braithwaite. That's
a big drop off.
So
that is confusing.
Very confusing. Barcelona is a confusing team.
Yeah, they're in a confusing time right now.
It's a confusing time, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, right now this season should be about building for the future. I think sacking Arteta right now would be a mistake. That would be a mistake. That would be a big L because now we have to start a whole new process, and the new manager might not like the certain players that Arteta would have signed, and it's just very very expensive, and Arteta is not doing that much wrong. It's obvious to see that it's the quality of players that are lacking. Because I even remember there was a moment in this game. I don't know if you remember the moment where Granit Xhaka did a very, 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 very good job pressing the ball. Right? He went all the way up, and he was a part of like a 3-man press. We won the ball back. Right? I don't know who wins it. Somebody on the left-hand side wins it. Passes it to Xhaka. And Xhaka just gives it away.
Oh, like he passed it straight to the Spurs player?
Yeah, like passes it to a Spurs player. Like that.
I've seen him do that a couple times.
So. That's good coaching, bad individual error. If you have a better quality player in there, that kind of an error doesn't. If you have, say you have a pivot, you have Party in the team, and you have a guy like Jaboslai or War in the team there. You just get more out of situations like that. And I see so many of those types of situations at us that if you sack the manager, it's just very short-sighted. It's very short-sighted. And I don't think they will sack him. I don't think they will sack him. I think that's just the Rams being what they are.
Right. Well, it's an Arsenal. We're in an hour 23 right now, so I gotta get back to this Jet game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, damn, this is a good ass podcast.
It was very good. Yeah, it was very good.
Fucking John left in the middle. That's great. Making his money somehow.
You know what? We have to really get to work on that concept that we were talking about with the basketball and stuff. Yeah.
Like do like minute segments on YouTube, just like post videos and shit.
Yeah, we can have like 20-minute segments of whatever it is, right?
We should like during the meeting too. Like we'll just talk our shit during the meeting. Like after when we're done with like what we're like whatever the week is. Like we're focused on the podcast stocks and all that. Then we just like talk bullshit over recorded.
Yeah, and honestly, you know what? Like I also like. I know right now we have a schedule. We're saying that we're meeting up every this and that, but like, it would be good to even just drop in and have conversation. Because these are easy. These are easy to do. They're not difficult to do.
I mean, that's why the Discord is so valuable. We can just drop in the voice chat and just talk shit.
Talk shit for 20 minutes and just leave.
Just leave, yeah. And it's good to catch up, and just we'll have like more good discussions on the podcast, and just like keep a good momentum.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
And you know what? Next week I'm getting my laptop back, hopefully, and then
Shit's gonna be good. You're gonna be more options for you to do
more
things.
options. Yeah. And are you getting a mic?
Yeah, actually, I think my sister like was talking to me. She said, "Yeah, I'm getting you like new shit for the podcast." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I'm getting you this mic, and this shit looks fire." I forgot how much it was, but it was really expensive. So shout out to my sister. You're the fucking shit.
Shout out to my sister.
Thank you for the Christmas gift. I really appreciate it.
Shout out to my sister as well, because she's literally doing the same thing for me.
See, this is why sisters are great, honestly.
Yeah, honorable shout out
Honestly.
to you. And what's your sister's name?
Elizabeth. Shout out to Elizabeth, man. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And then she said I might get a new camera for my YouTube videos for posting shit. So I'm like, hey, can't complain.
Sick.
So we're upgrading here in the Lucrative Vision podcast.
Yes, we're moving on up.
We're moving on up.
Like the Jefferson. Is it the Jefferson?
Moving on up.
Oh
man! But look down in the future. Look forward to that in the future. Podcasts, segments. I don't know what channel we're gonna post that on, but look forward to that. And anything else to say before we get out of here?
I have a lot to say, but I'm gonna let you go and watch the.
I'm gonna watch my Jets get their ass kicked for the 12th time this year, and it's gonna be great.
We're gonna be mud wrestling again. Man.
Yeah. So you're getting stressed out with Arsenal. I'm getting stressed out with the Jets. So we're kind of in the same wavelength. So that's why it's working out for each other, you know.
Yeah.
We're both getting stressed out. We're basically depressed at this point, but it's okay. We'll get through it. So all I gotta say is fuck Stan Kroenke and fuck Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson's the owner of the Jets, by the way. So fuck them both.
Yeah. And even though it hurts me to say it, Olivier Giroud.
Oh my goodness gracious!
What a cow.
I would ask the question, but I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna end on a high note.
The answer is yes.
Please.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. All that. Like and subscribe to our channel, John Joga. It's gonna be in the description box below. And we're out of here.
Oh, by the way, before we go, very quickly, we should turn the YouTube channel into the Lucrative Vision YouTube channel. It's the most obvious thing in the world.
Hey man, that's John's job. That's his channel. We gotta put that. We gotta press him for that one.
Oh yeah, we have to. Yeah, I have to. I'll talk to him just right now. I'm gonna call him right now.
But everybody have a great day. Good night. Whatever you guys watch this.
Yeah. And, you know, this has cheered me up, man. This has cheered me up.
This is why we're here. We cheer each other up during tough times.
Yeah. Anyway, peace out.
All right, everybody, have a good day, and we'll see you guys next Sunday or whenever we post this.
Yeah.
Peace.